Hasta la vista, baby. I'll be back when there's something better than the original Terminator and Terminator Judgement Day, baby. Hello, welcome back to the James Rambling Reviews for yet another episode. And in today's episode, if you couldn't tell already, I had these sunglasses on, and this is a made up kind of improv thing I decided to do because I was like, I've watched the Terminator Zero anime, did a community tab post about this, and so I was like, you know what, maybe I actually do this whole kind of skit where I do that thing with the references to Hasta la Vista Baby, I'll be back. And if you didn't see my community tab post, yes, I did watch the Terminator anime, and I don't really talk about or review much anime on the review show, so this will be an interesting one for me because if you don't know, right, I'll just give you a bit of context before I get into this review and how I felt about the Terminator anime called Terminator Zero. So if you don't know, right, a couple years ago when I was first getting into the James Rambling show before I cancelled it like 5, 6, 7 months ago to just do the review show, I talked about the Terminator movies and how I absolutely love the original Terminator and Terminator Judgement Day, and so the 1984 one and the 1991 Terminator movie called Terminator Judgement Day. So I love those movies. The third one I have never liked in my life. I have watched it, it's watchable, it just doesn't have the energy of the first two movies. Terminator Salvation was unfinishable, and I didn't really like that movie. It had Christian Bale in it. It had a whole different vibe to the first two movies, and it just didn't capture what I needed out of that. And Terminator Genesis was this movie where I seen it ages ago in the cinema. I was like, okay, I love this movie, but I had no knowledge of the prior movies. And then years and years later, I come to watch the first two Terminators, love the first two Terminators, and Terminator Genesis, I just skimmed through that, and I was like, oh my god, I've seen this before, they're just trying to do it, and Arnold Schwarzenegger is like kind of older in this movie. And then Terminator Dark Fate is like an unfinishable disaster where I could not finish this movie because it was damaging the Terminator franchise, where they literally do something really bad to John Connor's character at the start of the movie, and it was like, oh my god, what are they doing? And also, I'm not going to mention this once we get to my review of Terminator Zero, but I actually got back earlier from a screening of the Terminator in 4K for the 40th anniversary of the original movie, and I'm not going to review it because my mind never changes on that film, but when I went to see that in the cinema, it was awesome. It was very, very good. The soundtrack and the sound design and the way it played so much better in cinemas, but it is a classic. The pacing is amazing. It's never going to not age well. Like, that movie, I'm going to rewatch it another few times eventually, and I'm like, yeah, this is awesome, it's great, it never gets old. It's like Back to the Future levels now, where it's like, yeah, it's perfect, never gets old. It's Alien, the original Alien kind of deal where it's like, it's perfect, it never gets old. So that is me just building the context here, guys, on how I felt about the Terminator franchise, so I can get you up to speed. So the next section of this video is going to be my review of Terminator Zero, and I'm not going to spoil everything inside of this review, but just to quickly say this, right, I'm obviously a fan of the first two Terminator movies, and this is coming from somebody who loves anime, and I have watched anime before, and yes, I actually don't have a zero tolerance for anime, no pun intended. Like, I actually love certain anime shows, and just to give you a bit of a plot summary here, so it's pretty much like about this guy called Malcom. He has these kids, right, and it's set in 1997 in Tokyo, Japan. It's an 8-episode series. It's 20 minutes long. Some of them feel like half an hour, but they kind of fly by, so you're not on it for that long. It's only got 8 episodes, and so if you were to watch, you can watch it all in one day, but for me, I watched it over the course of like a day or two, gave myself some time to really process the show. So that is what the show is about. It's about that whole thing about Tokyo and how it's set in 1997. And so I'm going to get into my review of this now. And I will be very, very honest when it comes to Terminator Zero, in saying that, like, I actually found the first episode had the most potential. And please do just get off Rotten Tomatoes. Please go away from that, because see, this anime, Terminator Zero, this anime is horrible. And usually there's times when I'm heavily criticising something or I enjoy something, and then I'll be like, oh, this is why it's flawed, or like that. No, this show is actually intolerable slop. This show actually destroys the actual universe of the Terminator franchise. And what scratches my head the most is that the Japanese dialogue just doesn't mesh with the Terminator universe, man. Like, the Terminator, it's an American franchise or series of films, right? It's about this American stuff about technology, and yes, obviously there's a bit of AI where AI's taken over, and we can make the stuff about AI because it's relevant today. But the biggest mistake that this makes, right, it's not about John Connor, it's not about Sarah Connor. Arnold Schwarzenegger isn't even attached to this series, and so it just feels like Netflix were finding an excuse to get a cash grab, get some money out of this, because whatever crack people are smoking saying this anime is interesting, it's changing up this Terminator universe, guys, oh my god, it's doing this to change the universe and all this. I'm like, no, the Terminator is structured a certain way. It doesn't translate well to episodic stuff. There is even points in this show where there is like 2 or 3 scenes where there's just action, there's drawn out dialogue, and it's trying to be like this philosophical debate between the main character and AI, and I'm like, I really do not give a crap right now. Like, give me some action like those movies would give me. The animation, it gets the job done here, but it's not like some memorable thing like, oh my goodness, this animation is out of this world, it's changing anime, man, oh my god, it's nothing like that. And the only good thing that I will say about this show is how the English dub is actually good. Like, the voice acting, they're trying their hardest here. You can kind of feel them, they're getting into the voices, and you can feel it happening. And so a lot of the dialogue isn't that bad, but the fact that there are points where it's like Kokoro, or oh my god, the Watashi Booty Goody Goody, and all these Japanese ideas just don't really intertwine well with the Terminator franchise. And so I feel like out of 10, it was dropping in numbers as I was watching this, because it went from like a 6 out of 10 in the first episode. Most of the other episodes like a 5 out of 10, and then it's going from 5 out of 10 to 4 out of 10, and it's like it's between a 4 and a 5 out of 10 for me. And I'm not going to spoil a lot of stuff as I mentioned, but just as a little kind of background kind of statement to explain my point on why I didn't like this, it's also got these bits where it's playing the Terminator theme song. It's like da-na-na, da-na. I'm not going to do that too much because it's gonna, maybe I'll get copyrighted, or it's just not good for me to kind of like repeat something that's popular and I don't have the full rights to. But there's points where it just plays the original Terminator theme song from the first 2 movies, and probably the later movies use that for nostalgia bait reasons, whatever. But when it uses that, it's got the theme song playing, right, and then you've got these points where these characters, right, they're talking, and it's characters that I don't even care about, and they are the main focus, right? They are the main focus, and I don't care about these characters. And when a character is the main character and you don't care about it, that's how you know that this is a very bad anime. And please do not watch this. Please do not please Netflix, I am begging you right now, please do not make a season 2 of this crap. This is actually horrible. And yes, maybe it sounds like I'm a hypocrite because I have used my time to watch it on Netflix. I am contributing to it. I hate this thing, but I am still giving it the attention it needs. But I need to do that because I'm a review channel. So yeah, man. So yeah, that's my review. I did this all in one take, by the way. This review might be longer than usual, but this is a very, very passionate rant coming from somebody that loves the first two Terminator movies. And so let's put the glasses back on and say a couple things about this. So it's like, I won. I terminated the shit out of this anime and nitpicked the crap out of it, just like I did to Sarah Connor, just like I wanted to do to Sarah Connor in the original. Hasta la vista, baby. James Ramblin' Review viewers. Bye bye.